Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I'm going to be showcasing Multiple Man in the Doom Raid. And so, look, I unlocked Multiple Man yesterday, was fortunate enough to pull 6 red stars on him. Don't have those filled in yet, but what we do have is I got him up to gear tier 14. I brought him up to level 80, so I figured that would give him some additional survivability. I've T4'd his ultimate and his passive. More on that in a moment. And I also got his ISO up. Now, you may be wondering, why the heck do I have him as healer ISO when the XFactor gets so many bonuses from crit, right? So you would think that Raider would be a natural fit. And I got to say, what the main reason why is he only has one attack, and that is his basic. It's only a single target attack. It is only a single attack. In other words, it does not give multiple chances to crit. And what I really think happened here is that the devs realized that they had made a bit of an error when they created X Factor. In other words, Longshot and Shatterstar are kind of bonkers, particularly Longshot, where they get so much turn meter and they can just mow everyone down. If you have a maxed out Longshot, maxed out Shatterstar, I mean they just single-handedly can defeat enemies that are much larger, and so they had to tone down the team a little bit unless they wanted this to be their kind of one above all team that was going to rule all game modes. And so if you look here, the speed for multiple man is only 100. Okay, and that's an important distinction. Okay, so here if we look at X Factor for a minute here, and we compare that 100 speed to the speed of the others, Shatterstar goes fairly quickly. I think he's 124 speed, and then Longshot, he also, while he's not as fast as Shatterstar, he still has a reasonable speed of 113. Nowadays in the game, 100 speed is pretty slow. I mean, back in the day, I know Sinister and Black Bolt have 100 speed, but nowadays that's pretty slow in the game. One of the other differences between Longshot, Shatterstar, and Multiple Man is, Longshot has so many chances to crit. This initial ability here attacks 3 times, so it gives you 3 chances to crit. Fan of Knives, this special, attacks everybody. So if there's 8 enemies, you have 8 chances to crit. Knife Assault is essentially a guaranteed crit. And so when you look at his crit chance, this is just with green ISO, not even blue ISO. Level 5 green ISO, 60% crit chance. He's going to be critting almost every time. That's going to give the entire team 20% speed bar. It'll also give them the barrier from Shatterstar, okay, on his passive. The other thing I will just say too is Shatterstar, like Longshot, just these two are attack all enemies, and then this one has a multi-attack. Everything is very different with Multiple Man. So when you look at Multiple Man, this is a single target attack once. Okay, so it's not a multi-attack. This is not an attack at all. It's just a summon of dupes. This is not an attack at all. It's just a summon of dupes. And, a buff to the current X Factor, an offense up and counter. So, realistically, he's not going to be getting a lot of crits. So I actually think healer is, the what makes the most sense because he does have a big health pool. All right, so that's why I set him up this way. And what we're going to do now is take him into Doom Raid. And let me just explain why. I think that Multiple Man only shines in certain game modes. I do think once he's fully, geared and start out, I think, he will be good in war offense. He does give a benefit here in war offense. He does summon an additional dupe when he's attacked. He summons 2 dupes on spawn. He gives resistance to the whole team. So I think he'll be part of the war offense team. I also think, he, may have some value in Dark Dimension. I'm going to cover that in a subsequent video. But I think, he's definitely not going to have much value, for example, on arena defense, because he absolutely gets rolled over by the symbiotes and by Axemen, which both get speed bar by killing his dupe summons. And so, we did a lot of testing and balanced PvP yesterday, just testing out the character, and really, he's definitely a character that you want going up against an AI opponent. So I think the Doom Raid is one area where he could shine. Here's the issue, though, and I want to make this crystal clear. X Factor already is very good without him. In the Doom Raid. So right now in the Doom Raid, I generally use Astonishing X-Men on the first two nodes, and they run over those first two nodes pretty handily. I know some people have trouble with the second node. You just have to make sure you blind the bishops. I've also used Longshot and Shatterstar in combo on those nodes. So in other words, Longshot, Shatterstar, X23, Emma Frost, and Sinister on the first node. Then I've used Longshot, Shatterstar, and then Jubilee, Beast, and Bishop on the second node. Then I use Longshot, Shatterstar, and kind of a hybrid on the last node where Sinister clones Longshot. You get tons of speed bar. So I have to say, I'm not sure how much multiple man is needed in the mutant nodes, but what I want to do is take him there to see how he performs in general on raids. I've used him a little bit in the Greek raids, but I think, let's just see how he does. I think it'll help us evaluate his strength as a character. So what I'm going to do is just see, can we one-shot as easily with an XFactor team? So here I am on the first mutant node, and my ordinary team would be the Axemen. So, but let's go right here, and here we'll just go right to XFactor. And so then the question would be, how do you complete the team as well? So, what I would say is on this one, you could either go with, for example, ordinarily, let's say, Bishop and Jubilee are very good. I think X23 is fine to ability block Doc Ock. We could try that. Emma Frost is really helpful because one of the main problems that X Factor has is no cleanse. Multiple Man cleanses himself when he's paired with Polaris, who isn't in the game yet. So let's try this team on the first node and see how it does. Like I said, this is a node that's an easy one-shot. I think you can one-shot with this with Axemen that are under 400k. And with my Axemen, which are I think in the 535 or so, it's a ridiculously easy one-shot. Okay, and so this should be an easy one. But we're going to go through all of the nodes here, just see exactly how this works with multiple man, because I think a lot of people who haven't leveled up Axemen, who haven't leveled up all of these characters, want to know, how viable is multiple man. So, here's what I would do. Ordinarily I would put, let's say, the defense down here, and then there you go. By the way, you could just see how amazing Longshot is. All right, we'll do the ability block. So you could just see, right? I mean, Longshot and Shatterstar are the stars of the show here. I don't really view multiple man on that same tier. One thing that is nice about him is even though he's a little bit slow to getting going, he is definitely a character that benefits from all of the passives. All of his dupes benefit from those passives from the dad bros. So that is a good thing. I do think that one thing the devs have done is essentially, I'm going to save this cooldown because we don't really need it. This is a pretty easy fight here. One thing I think the devs really have done is, done a nice job. By the way, the dupes also don't crit. That's another way in which they have made the X Factor team a little less crazy. I mean, could you imagine if the dupes could crit, right? I mean, it would really be insane. It would really be absolutely bonkers. And so, they purposely haven't done that as well. One thing I will just say to you is, the good thing is, I do think multiple man helps the team get rolling even more once they do. Although until you get him leveled up, you might have some timing out issues just from all these dupes and their basic attacks. But I would just say that, one thing I would say about him is, he is definitely a character that takes some time to get going, and I think that they've made that a weakness of the team. In other words, there's really two weaknesses right now to the X Factor team. One is it doesn't have a cleanse, which usually you solve by putting in another member, but also, it takes a little while to get going. So a team that moves fast, like let's say Shadowlands or so forth, can easily make quick work of the X Factor team. Okay, so look, I purposely saved my cooldowns here so this way we could, have a big opening in the next node. This is the easy node, so let's go into the next node, and we'll try a slightly different team there. I think we need to have Jubilee for her blind, so we're going to go, and I'm going to take out X23, who the ability block was useful there. We'll go with Jubilee. So we got Jubilee. We've got the Emma Frost cleanse, and we have the XFactor guys. So let's see how this goes. This is a fight that's really challenging because Bishop just does so much damage here, and I really have no problem reliably one-shotting it now, either with full Axemen or with that hybrid team of the Dad Bros plus Axemen. And so it's going to be really interesting to see, does multiple man, now obviously he's only at 4 red stars, but, does he make this team better or worse? He's coming in with full cooldown, so he should be able to make an impact. All right, so we'll do the offense down. I probably actually should, or defense down. We probably should have done the other one because, okay, so here's an issue. A bit of a problem here is that Squirrel Girl's going to cleanse. So, all right, so now we're going to spawn a bunch of these so that this way, I was hoping that they wouldn't target Longshot, but of course she did. All right, so let's try to slow these guys down a little bit. And all right, so we're already got a bit of a problem here. I did not think about the fact that the Squirrel Girl cleanse was coming, and I should have known that. Okay, so this is decent. Oh. All right, so now one good thing about these dupes is they do steal buffs quite a bit. All right, and the other thing is they get all the buffs from the XFactor team. So now we got defense up on all of them. All right, let's try to steal these buffs. All right, we're going to steal offense and defense up here. Oh, that's fine. He does counterattack, and we don't really care about that. All right. All right, okay. The counter actually helped here. All right, let's try to steal this from Kitty Pryde. Okay. Very interesting, huh? All right, now we're giving taunt and death proof to all of them. That's an interesting thing. All right, so here I'm going to steal this defense up, and then we're going to try to kill Magneto. I guess we can't just yet, and that's an issue here. Oops, I got to steal speed up right away. All right, we've got to kill Magneto before he puts blind in everyone, and that's going to be an issue. So one potential benefit here is, of course, that Magneto is going to constantly lose that speed up. All right, well, let's blind Bishop here, so at least we're not going to have an issue there. All right, so that blind is huge. All right, let's continue working on Magneto. You absolutely cannot let him blind everyone, or else that's an issue. You can see, by the way, that the blind from Jubilee is just so incredibly important. I actually think these guys may not be doing enough damage to make it worthwhile to do that. Here we go. We got him. All right. So far so good here, really. This is actually going better than I thought. Let's see. All right. Let's clean these off. All right. There we go. We got the offense up. We got the speed up now. All right, we're just trying to get Squirrel Girl down. We're stealing every buff we possibly can. One thing I will say is that usually Kitty Pryde doesn't last this long. I usually have already killed her, but look, here we go. We're getting some dupes out. It's an interesting change in the battle. I will say this is not the way I'm used to fighting this thing, but they are a decent distraction. Look at that. They eat the Captain Marvel ult. Now, I will say that, we did already lose Jubilee, so fortunately, we've already done our thing and gotten the Bishop. We got one down, and this guy's blinded, so we're okay here. But, if I hadn't, that would be a huge problem if we hadn't already, gotten ourselves into this spot. Losing Jubilee, I might be a no-go for this node. But here we go. All right, we only have 1 minute left. I will say usually, we got an ability block. Oh, well, we do have a cleanse, so we're doing okay. Yeah, we might be okay on this one. I will say that it's not quite as easy of a win as I usually have with the Axeman team in there, in there, but they're doing pretty well, all things considered. All right, let's delete Blob. I have to say though, this team still feels a lot like, like it's essentially Longshot and Shatterstar, and he's more, Multiple Man is more or less a sidekick. All right, we've got to get this. These dupes also, they don't really do a lot of killing, but they take up a lot of time. So, all right, so that's interesting. Fascinating result there. All right. Now, I wonder what this final node. So this final node is basically a sure win for me right now. Absolute sure win. So what I usually do in this node, just to show you my usual team, and you can look, by the way, I'll show you guys, I will actually link it in the comments below. My usual team here is this one right here we don't have multiple man in there. So this is the typical team. Sinister clones, Longshot, then they get 40% speed bar per crit, and then they have an insanely high crit chance, and there you go. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to take out Phoenix, and we're going to put in multiple man, and we're going to see, does that affect my win percentage? I think part of the issue might be, here, we'll heal him up to make sure he's at full health. Part of the issue may be timing out, because I put this thing in auto as it is to make sure that I don't time out. And when I'm playing on my iPad Pro, I usually have a minute 10 seconds remaining on BlueStacks, which is what I'm playing now, just so I can showcase this for all of you on a video. It can have some timing out issues. And so I think multiple man with all these basics that don't do a lot of damage, that may actually end up making the team worse on this node. So let's see. All right. We're going to get the defense up on everybody here. All right. Now, actually, I think that this is a good thing to get all these guys spawned up. Now, of course, with Black Bolt, as you can see, Black Bolt is definitely a bit of a counter to multiple man because it takes off all the multiple man buffs. That was actually a mistake, it turns out, to use that there because it got easily cleared by Shatterstar, and I didn't really think that through. All right. Well, you live and learn. I've never run these nodes with multiple man before, so please understand that. I'm learning at the same time as you what I should be doing here. All right, so yeah, Black Bolt's definitely a bit of a counter there. Okay, so all right, now we clone Longshot. All right, I think we're good now. You can just see all the speed bar. No one else will ever take a turn. All right, we're going to focus on Emma just because she's the highest health. And there we go. It's really having the two long shots. This team should be absolutely bonkers at this point. And the question really is, does multiple man actually add anything here? Phoenix really didn't add much to the team, because all really her job was is just, she did a little bit of a cleanse in the beginning, and then she would eat an early attack. But multiple man will heed to track just by, for example, wasting a lot of time with all these basics that are doing. You could see double-digit damage is nothing, right? They're basically a distraction. And on this node, you don't even need multiple man to stay alive. So I think that realistically, I can already tell you're probably not going to want to use multiple man here, because I don't think he actually adds anything. The node was an easy one shot before. Most of you, if you're this far in the game where you've got a built up team to do the Doom raids, you really already have a very big Phoenix or some other character you could throw in that spot. I don't think it matters all that much which one you do, but you could see here, look how much the clones are just wasting time. It's taking essentially what would be an ordinarily very easy attack, and just they get so much speed bar that they're literally taking forever. All right, so we actually have to focus on Zemo, because this is silly. We can't have Taskmaster stealing. I think I'm going to have to do this to have any shot at doing this. You could see, though, that the problem is, that if Taskmaster retaliates and kills your cloned Longshot, that's an issue. So, yeah, I mean, we might still be able to do this. I don't think so, though. I think we've basically screwed our ability to do it. What happened here, by the way, is I usually micromanage it so that Taskmaster doesn't steal the defense up, but I had no choice here because we had to just get going with these clones, going so easily, or doing so little damage. I really couldn't micromanage it the way I ordinarily would. We might still beat this in time, but I will just say none of it is due to the uh, clones. That's for sure. The dupes, whatever they're called. Yeah, they do almost no damage. Look at this. Yeah, they're probably going to time me out with their stupid 2,000 damage attack. I mean, this is 21,000. This is totally pointless. They've got tons of speed bar. Really, the only ones that matter are Longshot and Shatterstar. So I think, as I said, I think that this multiple man is actually a net negative for this team. But what we'll do is we're getting through this anyway. And what I think I'm going to do, I know that this is going to time out. We're not going to get all of these enemies. So what we're going to do is I'm using basics to save abilities, and then we'll just come in with the same team, and I'll show you how we finishes up. I do think that this is an unusual situation where I had kind of tricked the AI into situation. This is something I don't think the developers intended, right? Was for you to take essentially unlimited turns here. So we'll use the same team and just go in, and it's fine. With full cooldowns, I actually think where you don't have two long shots. I think having multiple man will be helpful, but we'll test it out. I do think multiple man's interesting, and I think you're seeing that here. Does he have some abilities that are helpful? Sure. I mean, for one thing, I will just say he does provide here we'll just try to erase Black Bolt. He does provide offense up to the characters that actually matter, like Longshot. So there is that. I mean, I do think just having Longshot with offense up is great. I also think that having a bunch of distractions is good when you're up against the AI. Obviously, it's not going to fool, a human being, okay, who's going to know better. There we go. But against the, AI, having all these dupes is going to be fantastic, right? And, stealing buffs is going to be great. I mean, there's definitely some value here. And I think, one thing I will just say is, this is a character that may scale very well with gear. I mean, and with size. In other words, this is the 4 red star version. Multiple Man's a pretty free-to-play friendly character because, I bought the offers to do this because I'm doing the content creation and all that. I wouldn't have geared him up in one day otherwise. But one thing I will just say is that, even if you're free to play, you can do the 50 core refreshes in the event energy and get him to 4 stars like this, or get him to 5 stars if you do the hundreds. What I do see the value is for this character is, he gives you an option on Alliance War Offense. I think this team, plus let's say a cleanser for now, let's say a Squirrel Girl, will be pretty good on Alliance War Offense. Will they be as good as when I put Ultron here? I usually do Ultron, Squirrel Girl, Namor. I don't know. But this frees up your Ultron and Namor for use elsewhere. And we'll see how good they are. I will do an additional video as to showing them in Alliance War Offense sooner rather than later. One thing I will say, by the way, is that you may want to be wondering whether the summon T4 abilities are dependent on multiple mans, and the answer is yes. So if you T4 multiple man's basic, it would T4 the basic here. I T4'd his passive, and so it T4 the passive on the dupes. All right, guys. If you like this video, please smash that like button at the bottom. Subscribe to this channel. Also, go to our Discord below and check out our Discord. We have all sorts of discussions about characters and theory crafting and all that. And also check out our Twitch stream. I try to stream every night and show off gameplay like this.